Hey everybody. Hope we're doing good tonight. I'm pretty excited about tonight's cut and chat, Opal. I love Opal. That was the first place that I started my lapidary journey when I was going from the adult education class that I was taking as a teen. Uh, I wanted to work in jewelry, and the teacher there had excuse me, teacher there was able to get me into a job at a place in Anaheim, California. That was a jewelry store that did repair, custom casting, silversmithing, goldsmithing, setting, all the fun stuff. But it was primarily a rock shop, gem and mineral, lapidary store, crystal store that also made jewelry. And his biggest thing was opals. He was really into opals. He had opal mines over in Australia, uh, like black opals, all the different Cooper Pedy from Cooper Pedy. I remember the first time I went to Quartzsite, I was 17, and this is pre-GPS. I had like a Thomas guide and a folding map, and I had to you know, find my way east, do it using a map. And I drove out there, and I had an old Ranger, I think an 83 Ranger, and I drove it out there. I was just hoping it'd make it out there and back. And I was just told to go out there and meet a guy. I'm going to pick up a barrel of Opal. He's in a white van at a gas station. And you go there and it's just like Zeke's laughing because you go to Courtside and it's just all white vans at the gas station. And I just was like, no cell phone, no nothing like that. It's pre like that. I'm just a dumb teen kid out in Arizona at Courtside trying to find this guy Joe or John that has opals in a white van. And it was like it was fun. I learned a lot about the business and the industry, but he taught me lapidary, how to basic cutting, inlay work, cabbing, setting, and he was really kind of hold offish on the opals. And even when I finally was able, like, trusted enough to cut and polish opals, I would always just get the lower select grade of opals that I could cut and stuff, and all the fine opals he would cut. And actually, on my Tuesday show, I had showed there's a book that one of the pieces, the stone he had cut, the opal, and I had was a part of helping carve the setting and casting of the setting. And so I've had a lot of experience cutting Australian like fire opal. It's a super fun stone, and I'm excited. We have some Mexican opal to polish up. We have some dendritic opal to polish up.
Oh,
Uh, Yeah, I'm excited. Everybody else excited? Let me see the chat here. Get this
that
thing
was really
going.
fun. I like it.
Yeah. So how
That's
many
a cool
white vans
story.
would you? How many white vans would you say is in court site during the show?
An insane amount. You know what was funny? As I was laughing, I was like, John and Sherman still send me on those kind of trips. You're gonna meet Joe in the parking lot here.
Exactly. Yes, yes, yes. And we've been on the same trips.
Yeah, it sounds so familiar. Thank goodness I have a cell phone. I can't imagine going to courtside with no phone and a paper map
Oh,
to meet
it,
strangers.
yeah, it was traumatizing. Tay just showed up. Just kidding. How you doing, Tay?
The look on Tay's face
Oh,
is so good. Nothing, nothing at all.
oh
Just how
boy.
beautiful you are today.
Hmm.
I'm getting an even more intense look now.
I think it's getting serious. Yeah, yeah.
I know, right? It's getting to dangerous territory. You guys
Oh
excited
man.
tonight to polish some opals? How many of y'all got a really nice opal sitting around that you're like, oh, I've been too afraid to polish this piece. It's so nice, I don't want to ruin it. Because I know there's a few people out there that are like, ugh. I was actually thinking, I was like, man, I need to go dig through my stuff. There's a couple opals
You
that I'm
right?
like, oh, I have never gotten around to polishing. I've never personally been a big opal person, but I can appreciate them being one of the most popular stones out there.
Yeah, I get why they're popular. I love them. They're intense. They're beautiful. They're tricky. You know what I mean? But they're worth the reward, I think. Yeah.
right? The Ethiopian
Yeah.
opals are some of my favorites.
Ooh, okay. I don't have much experience with the Ethiopian opals, so yeah.
Yeah, a lot of fun.
I,
Oh, that's awesome. Oh, that's very cool, Larry. All
oh, very
right.
cool, John. Yeah. All
Are
you
you
did was
ready to
cut
start?
opals, Larry? Yeah, I'm ready to start. You know it.
You want to take us through the pieces that you're gonna polish up?
Yeah. Let me go. I was kind of looking at,
No. Tay was handing me a piece that Tay and I have been talking about finishing for a while. It's a Spencer opal that's currently a doublet that should be turned into a triplet. Oh, good. I hope your recovery goes well, Brandon.
let me grab a spray bottle here. I already kind of looked at the pattern and kind of what I like, but let me get it wet so everybody else could kind of see what I'm looking at.
Hey, you want to pin up my camera? And that's interesting, Larry. Why is that? I've done opals, but I don't have like a ton of opal experience. I actually just came in from being soaked outside. It is like tornado weather here. And yeah, we did have a little tornado. And I had to run through the rain to get back to my truck, so I'm soaked. Hey, Daniel, good to see you.
That's funny. I was usually like to go outside and like stretch and everything before the show, and I would like open the doors like, nope, not tonight.
Maybe I won't do. Maybe I won't do that tonight.
Okay. This was probably my most used template shape right here. This just became my favorite. Like all the different sizes of this kind of like, I guess, modified shield or modified teardrop. I don't know what you exactly call it. What would you call that one, Zeke?
An offset teardrop.
Offset teardrop. I like that. Okay, so, and what we got here is a little sharpened brass screw. See the little tip on there.
Oh, I'm
And you
so
can,
sorry to hear that, Daniel. Yes, and we do have these. Yeah, what Cody's holding is a piece of dendritic opal. This is one we actually showed on the live event and nobody grabbed, and I was blown away because it has that great purple in there.
isn't that amazing? Okay. I'm gonna go over here to the 6-inch trim saw now, folks. I tell you what, I love the fact that this is an actual lapidary shop. I had just cleaned this
Me
off the
too.
other day. I cleaned this off the other, like maybe yesterday, the day before, and it's like, oh no, since then people have been cut like one, two, three different materials. All right. Now, got the pattern here. There we go. I'm gonna make my first cut coming up along this long side right here, making sure underneath the stone is nice and flat. There we go. And I kind of like to, you can see the line of the template or the stencil that I put on there. And if you can see this clear line right here, that's the spray from the saw. And I kind of like to use that spray line to give me an idea of where the saw is going. I got my line right there. So it's looking like that's going to be just right on the outside of it.
Yes, Jay. We only make one continuous rim of the new blades for the 10. But that blade Just like if I'm doing something higher end or more fragile, I'll just use the 6 inch, and the 10 gets used for most everything else. This purple piece that we're cutting is a piece of the dendritic opal from Australia.
Ooh, nice hard material.
Team, will you capture this for John? Yeah, this stuff cuts and polishes like an agate.
I was pushing a little hard to start chip the top of it a little bit.
This thin blade is the only blade that I recommend using the sharpening stone to sharpen regular instead of the peening method.
Yeah, yeah. Okay. Oh, got a little wide. I could have probably got closer and saved more material. And then, you know what? We are in a lapidary lab. So let's make the next cut on the 10-inch. This was the saw that I had in my personal shop. Excuse me, folks. This is the lab I had in my personal shop, and I love this lab. Oh, sorry. I love this saw because you're able to cut slabs. You're able to cut bigger chunks. This is actually a piece on Tuesday's show. I ended up cutting another chunk off of it and making a cab of it, but the chunk was this tall here, and I was able to cut a slab off of it using just the 10-inch. This was my personal favorite, but personal favorite because it fit my needs. I wanted to be able to cut up to 3, 4 pound pieces, depending on their shape, down to making slabs and then actually trimming out a cab. Oh, hey Zeke,
Yes.
do you know if the precision trim is ready to rock and roll?
Yeah. We just need to
Okay,
turn on the
cool.
water and it's good to go.
I love it. Thank you,
I
sir.
feel like I robbed you. That
Yeah, sorry, Cody, I was helping Tay. What was it that you were asking?
Oh, just if the precision trim was ready to go, I was going to go. I wanted to make each cut on a different trim saw.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah, right. Well, yeah.
I definitely
So,
wouldn't recommend opals on the. I mean, you could do this dendritic, but I definitely wouldn't recommend
yeah.
the production for opals.
Oh, definitely not. Yeah, that's when I cut it with these other ones. Like, oh, this is nice and hard. This is great.
Yeah, it's a pretty aggressive saw.
Yeah, yeah. We had
It's just
a
that
visit.
valve up there.
Oh, okay, thank you. We had a visitor come in, and he had the I believe it was the 10-inch, and then he got the precision trim saw here. There we go. And he was just like, "Oh, it's like the greatest saw ever." And I was like, "Yeah, this would be the saw that I'd probably upgrade to. I probably would have the 10 in this, like ideally, if I could." Hmm. I'll work with that little girdle and just get as much done as I can.
Oh, let's see.
You
Let
got
me
the
just
Allen
grab
for it?
you. It's in the
Okay.
toolbox. Let me grab it for you.
Awesome. Okay.
It'll be so much easier to take that little plate out of your way.
Right. Absolutely.
Cutting off one little strip at a time.
You know what I was thinking? Ooh, intarsia pieces.
Right? You're like, well, I could just make strips at the same time. No reason to limit ourselves.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah, this is one of the top machines that if I did my shop over again, that I'd buy.
Right? Yeah, yep, exactly.
I always regretted not buying this machine after I got to use it.
Yeah, I figured, yeah, that was me. I start with the six and go all the way up, but this would probably be a definite addition to my shop. Okay, water is going. Saw is going. Guard is out of the way.
There you go.
Ah, thank you, Zeke. Okay.
Yeah, that one you really need to sit in front of to use it comfortably.
Yeah. Clear off the deck there. Get my line.
There's a Z question here from Jeff. Question for Zeke. My saw got delivered on its side from UPS. Unfortunately, sat that way for a few hours till I got off to work. Would that cause a problem?
No, what is it like an HT 12 or 14?
And a question as well from Daniel. Does this Opal usually have a purple color to it, or is it just random?
It's just random, and you got to look at the pieces. Often when you cut this, and you can attest to this, Cody, since I believe this is the first time you've cut a piece like this.
Yes.
Often it's just a little bit on the outside, and as you cut into it, it gets more and more purple.
Yes, very much so. This was like the next slice in and it had this much purple, and then the next slab to this has maybe double the purple. Yeah.
Yeah, it was just a little window on the outside where you'd be like, "Oh man, now I can," and you start to cut into it and you see it. So you'll see me get excited about a piece of this when we look at the rough. I'll be like, "Oh God, this one's gonna have purple." The purple is actually kind of rare in this material, but this last batch we got actually had a decent amount. No, there's nothing that'll get hurt on a 6-inch trim saw. So any of those saws that come UPS, they will literally roll them into the back of a truck. That's why they're packed so well, or toss them and so, occasionally we get something that's bent or damaged because somebody threw one, but for the most part, it's just fine to put them up on their sides or rough them up a bit. Yeah, I was referring to this production trim saw. This production trim saw is an aggressive saw because it's designed for production use. So I wouldn't use it on things like opals typically. This dendritic opal is a lot harder than like an Ethiopian or an Australian opal where you get like the flash in there.
Yeah.
Um, if I was doing opals, I would exclusively use that 6-inch trim saw with the ultra thin blade.
Yes, absolutely. I totally, yeah. And I kind of left this little nub here. I wanted to kind of show you the awesomeness of the precision trim here, is you could kind of shape with it. And you could actually push into the blade because there's a bearing here that's keeping the blade from getting warped or pushed to the side. So you see where I had that nub, and you can see kind of where the line is. I was able to take off this whole big nub and kind of start to work on my round shape to the top of that cab. And I'm just doing the same thing. I'm just kind of like getting closer to the line with the trim saw. Got a little bit of a blowout from the line right here, but I still think I can save that little dendrite in the cab. So I think we're still good. Okay. Okay. I think that's officially a shaped cab. Okay. Or a cut from the template and ready to go to the cab machine cab.
That is so cheap for those 10-inch stainless steel trim saws. 765 bucks. Or if you want
Yeah.
one of these stainless steel production trim saws, getting one at $1,797.30. Also a really great deal. And I was just talking to Cody about this the other day. That feels expensive for a trim saw,
Hmm.
but after you use one, you're like, oh, this is not expensive for this at all. This is so worth it.
Oh, once you get the whole, all the all stainless steel body, the deck of it, the power of the motor, and then you compare it to what the equal competitors are out there, what they're made of, and you're just like, oh, this is a clear winner. Oh, excuse me, folks, had to take a drink there. All right, let me get the water going on the cab.
Yeah, that's right, Jeff. It's half inch NPT. Oh, I didn't know that that can be converted. It's definitely not something that's like designed to go on there. It definitely would have to be modified. But yeah, we can look and get you one of those.
Very translucent.
Oh my goodness, yeah, I had used to have one of those, John. I hated that tiny little drain. All right, can't having that in stainless
Oh,
steel is so nice.
I'm gonna crack a little bit more.
You can always do that's like a 1/4 inch thick slab, the one that Cody has.
Now, when I was doing my cabs, I had a 220 centered. I had the 220 like the rubber backed or the Nova style wheel, and then I went from there. I never even had an 80 grit for the longest time. And then even when I was doing my business, I did so much turquoise and stuff like that that I never had an 80 grit. And when I started coming to the live events, I started seeing all these freaking amazing agates, and I was just like, oh, I have to cut an agate. I have to do more agate jewelry. And I was just like, I gotta get an 80 grit wheel. But I already felt this and I think it's hard enough. I think I could start off on the 80 grit or the
Oh, for
80.
sure.
So I'm gonna just kind of there we go.
Yeah, you'll be on that material, you'll be just fine on 80.
Oh yeah, this is a good yeah. Oh yeah. That grind's nice. So let's see. Okay, yeah, there's the line. You can see kind of the line that I'm following. So now I'm just bringing the line closer and where it's irregular, like making the distance from the line to the outside even all the way around. And just so I'm trying to make there we go. There's like a high spot. Okay. Let's see. Let's see. Trying to get the right angle where you can see the line is always fun. You can see it like right up here at the top. It's getting closer and closer.
I just thought of something else that needs to go on your list, Cody, if it isn't
Let's do
already.
it.
Optivisors,
Are you seeing me squint over here? Oh,
you
that's so funny. Like I have that like my spare bedroom. I have all my jewelry tools. I have like my two or three Optivisors. I did a little secret, like I never admitted to anybody, but because nobody ever saw me in my shop. But I did everything with my Optivisor on. I'm officially that old.
Yeah, it's funny that you say that because I was watching look at the couch looking for that line, And I was thinking is the last time I showed John a sphere to look at, and he was like, "Oh, dude, where's the optimizers?"
Oh man, busted. Oh yeah, I love my optimizers. My optimizer's a nice Earl Grey tea, a good book. The optimizers are to read the book.
You know, now that you mentioned that, we used to see all the time on the camera with optimizers on.
Right? Yeah. Okay. Same kind of. Where are my optimizers? Try to get this on camera. But just working down this other edge, same thing, bringing it down to the line. I'm hoping you guys can see it. I can't see it.
That's so funny. I noticed that my left eye is a little bit more blurry than my right eye at distance. And
Uh-oh.
I was thinking about it, and I was like, yeah, I got my left eye closed all the time. But looking at a camera or out in the sun squinting or going to the range, you know.
Uh-huh. That's
I was like, I'm gonna
funny.
have to start doing stuff on my left side.
I was talking to one of my friends actually last night, and he was like, I'm going in tomorrow to get a hearing aid. My right ear is bad enough where I have to have a hearing aid. And I was just like, you're gonna love it. And I just like had this like long, like hype up speech why hearing aids are great. And then like a realization of like, oh man, I'm like way too excited about getting old and having hearing aids, I think.
This capping machine is running at the top speed, about somewhere between 1750 and 1800 RPMs. Oh, that's a good idea, Kent. Yeah, that's an interesting. Yeah, my right eye is definitely my dominant eye. Even when I'm standing out in the sun, I'll squint my left eye and just look with my right eye, and I'm thinking that's really, really bad. But I have to start wearing sunglasses so I stop squinting. We will be offering them eventually, David, but they're in the long works of things.
Okay. So I got the shape. It's as close to the line as I could see it. Now I'm gonna start working on actually shaping this shaped slab into a cab. And what I'm going to do, I've been working the edge of the stone directly against the flat of the wheel to work to get the shape that I want and get the consistency all the way around. What I'm going to do now is this is, I've already decided this is the top of the stone. So I'm going to take the stone and I'm going to put it at an angle like this.
How did you pick that being the top? Like, what makes you say
Oh,
that's the top?
great question. When I was like looking at the cab, I loved how kind of towards the middle, top middle, I had this like appreciate oh my god, dendrites right here. And I wanted that in there. And then I also had this cute little one at the bottom. And I really wanted that one there. And then at the other side, you can see it's pretty color and everything, but it's just, I don't know. To me, this is speaks out a little bit more with this all like real purple, little bit of white here and there. So yeah, it was just kind of aesthetically pleasing. And that's actually like something else that I maybe like. There's just some new cabbers on tonight because that's something that like I kind of maybe I just breezed over.
Oh, you'll breeze
Is
over a lot of stuff, I know.
right, I know. But like what I did is like I'll take the slab, I'll get it wet, and like I said, I already have a shape that I like. So I'll literally take the shape and just like, oh, that's kind of actually cool with the half, you know what I mean? Or if I want more of the purple with that cloud in it, and I'll literally just maybe even flip it upside down. You'll just find the right pattern and that's part of the planning of making your cab. So that's how I determined the top. I took that time. I decided where exactly where I wanted to cut the cab out because this was pleasing to my eye and this was pleasing to my eye. And then that's how I determined that's the top and then that's the bottom or the back rather. Yeah. Yeah.
No, it's good to teach. I think anybody that wants to master something needs to teach it because you're never going to be as good until you teach it and realize all the things that you need to actually work on and improve and
Hmm.
how you can emphasize them.
Yeah.
But why I really like people like John and Bill, listening to them teach because they just do such a good job at it.
Oh, I love it. It's such a treat getting like tutelage from them. It's honestly, it's a treat for me to be getting like lapidary tutelage from you. My whole career and everything has been jewelry first. Lapidary, I had to learn to keep making the jewelry kind of a situation. So to me, it's like you're a master at it. I'm just like excited to like be gleaning all this like free lessons of like cabbing and sphere making and
I can already hear Jordan saying, "Stop, Cody, stop." I appreciate that though.
oh, of course, man. That's absolute truth. Okay. Now I'm cutting this stone in theory to in a future date, Silversmith said it. So I'm cutting the girdle and the angle, everything with that in mind. So you can kind of start, see if I can get a good, you can kind of see it there.
Hey,
You see
Kyle.
there's an angled here starting and then an angled here. Now, I don't think I really want to high dome this. I think I kind of want to have a nice flatter dome because I don't really want to lose these patternings. I'm afraid if I go too deep, I might lose them. So what I'm going to do is I made the girdle here and I'm just going to be stick it up higher. And whenever I silversmith it, my bezel, which is the bezel is a piece of silver that goes all the way around the stone and then is folded in to hold the stone down. And when I judge the height of it, I'll have it come just past the girdle, maybe a millimeter. And then I'll be able to set it and then actually have the stone sitting up higher than the setting and then a kind of a flat top, polished flat top to it. This is how I'm cutting the stone with that in mind. And it would probably be a pendant with it set like that. I know it's upside down, but I love it upside down.
It's funny the way we determine what's upside down or right side because it really
Yeah.
is just what we've decided.
Uh-huh. I remember like in a design class that I took once, like, but then like the teacher had like all these like, well, this is why this shape is this for representing, like this fruit or this part of the body or this or that. It's just like, I think you're just making this up on the whim to basic. I've never heard this before.
That's so funny. Oh, I'm so jealous, Michael. That sounds so freaking nice. Yeah, that is true. Natural things in nature definitely will help dictate what we see as right and wrong.
Yes. And it's fun to kind of play with that too, even if something looks off. Sometimes you can actually like, I don't know. I found like a lot of times where something is technically upside down or not, it just it's more eye-catching when it's the wrong way or what it's not supposed to be.
What I think the worst part about there being a quote unquote right way and wrong way, even though I know this is funny to hear from me, is that it actually kills creativity
Right? Yeah.
because people will be in such a box of what is right and wrong that they won't experiment enough.
Yeah.
Like that rutilated quartz cab I was talking about the other night. I think we ended up selling the piece. It was going to be a really funky piece if it was done the way I was saying. It technically would not be a correct cab, but it would be really cool.
Right. Yeah.
That's one of the reasons I like to do such funky shapes is because people would be really drawn to that when they'd come look at my cabs. They're like, oh, I've never
Hmm.
seen anybody cut a cab this shape before.
And it's like I love oval and teardrop and all the set ones, but I think that's why I would naturally go to organic shapes or just kind of let the stone dictate the shape because I would have so many it just in different ways people saying like your stuff caught my eye because it's different from everybody else's.
Hmm I think that's the number one compliment I would get on cabs I do is that's an interesting shape. I really like what you did with that shape.
Yeah.
That's why when you see like mass produced cabs, sometimes they can get a little monotonous because they're all like ovals.
Yeah. Any newbie cabbers in the room have any questions about cabbing or what I'm doing or anything? I want to make sure, like I said, I'm nowhere near Zeke's skill, but I want to make sure that I'm not breezing past something that somebody didn't quite understand.
Could you move the camera a little closer to your hands?
Yeah.
I think it's a little bit harder to see what you're doing exactly all the way up there. Yeah, that looks better.
Is that better? Okay.
And then move it over a little bit to the right. Mm. Even when I'm doing an odd shape, I still feel like there's symmetry to it in some way. Um, and I think a lot of it is trial and error because I've certainly cut a lot of cabs where I was like, gosh, I hate that.
Eh,
But just something that looks like it flows and has some form of symmetry. Even though they're wonky, like what Michael just said about how do you balance it is really important. If you have a shape that when you go to hang it, it doesn't
hmm
hang very well, it throws the whole piece of jewelry off. It's not going to look good in the finished piece.
I have taken and cut thin strips of tape and stuck them to the back of a cab, here, here, to find out exactly the weight of that's going to go. And then as I carve the setting or make the setting, I'll try to keep it balanced for a certain way. Because if I want the bail to if you go see some of my pieces, I have stones that are offset from the bail, but they're balanced and they hang square. And that was like something I always kind of had fun with was the balancing of the stone. And I would tape the back of the cab and actually see how it hangs naturally to envision how it's going to hang in the piece and then make the setting to either be balanced or if it hangs funny one way, weight the setting in one on one side so it hangs back square.
I really like that. I always imagine a um like a Y and X axis throwing through the stone. And so,
Ooh,
from where I'd imagine it being set from the top to the bottom, and then one going from left to right. And I kind of look at it as like a grid and how it's going to hang when I'm looking at the piece. So I just do it visually, but I like your idea of using a piece of tape so that you have
yeah,
a better visual if you have a hard time imagining those lines.
I love that. Yeah, I love your way too. That's what's so fun about this way. It's like even you come and you watch these cut-in chats and we give you the basic idea of how to cut a cab or cut a specimen or use a wet spelt sander or this or that or whatever it is. You could always just go and kind of do a little bit of experimenting with it and have fun with it too and figure out like your own flow and art and what makes you happy, like creating in that art world.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. Hey, Michael, how's it going?
What I'm doing off the camera here that you're not seeing is I'm drying the stone off on my shirt because I'm just a boy at the base of it. I use my clothes for a towel. And then, and what I'm doing is I just dried it off because when it's wet, the wet will fill in like voids and allow you not to see it. And you could potentially have a deep saw scratch right here or something like that right on the face. And if you'd never really like dried it off and checked it, you wouldn't even really notice. And it looks like, I don't know if I'll be able to catch on the camera here, but I'm seeing some scratches going this way towards the top from the 80 grit and maybe a little down here at the bottom. So I kind of did that check kind of, and I know where to kind of focus on a little bit. And I'm going to go back to the 220 here. And then what I'm doing is I'm working the flat top against the flat side of the wheel.
Oh, interesting. Oh, I love triangles and teardrops. A lot. What's the kind of, oh, you said this is one of the most popular ones you used to do, Cody.
Definitely a lot of organic ones. I did shield shapes, teardrops for pendants. I had a lot of luck doing ovals for ring stones, smaller ovals, different shaped ovals for ring stones, and then I would shape them if they're a long oval, like if this is an oval, I'd shape it up the finger, and if it's a shorter oval, I'd put it across the finger.
Oh, or teardrops were always the most popular shape that I did.
Oh, that's awesome, Terry. You're making me jealous.
That does sound like a good day.
Uh-huh. What were you creating, if I could ask, in the jewelry shop? In the jewelry shop.
Oh, that's a always a fun
Oh,
project.
uh-huh. Nothing like when it's for a wedding or an anniversary or a memorial or like, yeah, when you know it's going to be something sentimental and a keepsake, just add like 10 stress pointers on that.
Just make it a little bit more stressful.
Uh-huh. There's going to be a little kid carrying it down an aisle and we're going to be taking pictures of it with the family. Ah,
And it means everything to somebody.
uh-huh. One of the last jobs that I had before I moved out was I would also do a lot of like repair work or custom work or any kind of silversmithing that I could do. I would take the job because I've done enough stuff so I'd feel confident with it. And I had a customer who's bought a lot of my stuff and like a repeat customer come to me and go, I have this gold horseshoe. My granddad was a diamond dealer and this got this from my grandmother, and it was a gold horseshoe with a bunch of really nice diamonds set in it. And she had this really big, chunky European style squared, heavy silver band ring, and she wanted me to solder it to her ring. And I remember like, oh yeah, no problem. And then like after she left, she like sent me like the whole like sentimental story of why it was so important and stuff like that. And it went from like this like, whatever, I'll just bang this out over the weekend, like out of my studio, no problem, to like, oh, okay, wait a minute, I gotta really like take this super duper serious. Like, oh no, like there's like story and like feeling and everything behind this. Like, why did you have to add that extra stress to it? I would have been so much less stressed and got the exact same job done if I wouldn't have known that.
It is funny how some people function differently under pressure, where not knowing will actually make them do a better job.
Right? Yeah. And I am keeping track of as I go down along the wheels, the backside too, just because it is a translucent stone. So I want to put a nice polish on there. So when the light comes through the front polish side, the side essentially works as a mirror because it's polished on the back and it will help to reflect the light coming in through the front off the shiny back and then up through the stone again.
What's something that you wish you would have known when you started cabbing that you're like, man, it just seems like everybody that should be obvious to everybody now.
Hmm. I think this goes with most things in life. A little preparation and planning ahead. Like I said, when I laid it out and I, was like looking for the layout I want, I also wanted to make sure that there wasn't like a big crack in the stone or there wasn't something, it didn't like change from there to like the poach of the stone, like something like unfavorable or something that's just going to crumble away. And, I can't even imagine like I said, like I learned a lot on doing opals. I can't imagine like there was a reason why I didn't get to like do like cut and shape the fancy, high expensive opals. Like I was, I wasn't at that time. I was too young to have the patience to really look at a stone and study it and give myself that extra just few minutes to like make a wise decision on where I make the cab or where I make the cut or yeah, I don't know. I've throughout my life, I don't know how many calves I've had that have been broken in half, just like Brian's. You know what I mean? Like that's just like by myself. Like I get it done, and then as I'm like moving it around, I notice something. I'm like, no, and I try to bend it, and it snaps in half. Just like, I could have so easily like saved myself all of that time and heartache just by studying the stone a little bit.
That is so true. I am so sorry
Right?
to hear
Yeah.
that, Anne. That's very, very tragic. If it were me, what I would do is find a glass maker that can incorporate the ashes into the glass.
Hmm.
And then I would probably do something along the lines of intarsia so that you could include stone in it as well. Um, Maybe something if you have something that reminds you of him stone wise, where you can incorporate it all together. Probably something along those lines, or just polish the glass as a piece. There are companies that will take ashes and turn them into gemstones. And one of the things that
Hmm.
I always thought about was instead of having to do a gemstone, make a chunk of glass that I could make a little sphere out of.
That'd be nice.
Hextall is a little tricky to use. So if you do use Hextall, do another project first. Don't start with a sentimental project. Do something that you're not going to be stressing about. Maybe move the camera a little forward just a little bit, Cody. You're bumping it, and it's giving us all a rocking motion.
Getting seasick over here, dude. What was that? You had mentioned a product, Zeke, and I'm not familiar with that product. You said try to test it on another project before something sentimental. What was that? You just
What I was just talking about?
yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Oh no, you're good. I was saying Hextall.
Hexol, Hexol, yes. I don't know what that is. It might yeah.
Yeah, and I've been told by people that use it a lot that you should really do more like a 2 week cure time. But yeah, Hextall, Anne was talking about incorporating her nephew's ashes into a piece.
Mm-hmm.
And I was saying maybe do something along the lines of have ashes incorporated in glass and then do like an intarsia piece with stuff that
Mm-hmm.
would, remind you of him. Um, and then put it together. But the Hextall, it's a tricky to use. So I was saying don't use Hextall your first time on something that's sentimental. Do it on
Okay.
something that if it has a problem, you're not going to have emotions attached to it.
Okay.
Get some experience first.
Okay. Okay. Hexol, yeah.
Oh wow, I had no idea it was that much. That's why I would look for like a local glass blower and have ask them to incorporate it. Because that's probably something that you could find somebody local that honestly, a lot of them will probably do it just for the experience of the project.
Yeah. Okay. I just dried it off again, and I'm not seeing any of the scratches from the 80. And then the centered wheel is hard, so it makes like hard, choppy lines as you're shaping it. And then the rubber back wheels here, they actually give more cushion, so they're not as rigid as the other wheel. Same grit, but with this one, what I've been doing is on the hard wheels, I've been working it like this primarily, like against the wheel. So all of my lines have been going around this direction from the stone from the side up to like the center. And then now with the softer wheel, instead of working it this way, I'm working it from the center flat face and I'm going this way, essentially going across all of the other centrifugal circular lines that I've been making on the other wheel, trying to soften out all of those lines.
Oh no, don't worry at all. And I appreciate that you guys can come in here and share something that's so emotional and so painful. Same with Daniel. That's a very hard thing to
Hmm.
to go through, and it truly is life. Everybody suffers through
Hmm.
something hard. And I always say one of the things that I talk about all the time when someone's going through a hard time is I would rather the opportunity to get to metaphorically sit in the mud with you than not deal with the problem at all, because it's such a great opportunity to come closer. And by sharing this, you're actually giving other people ideas that maybe comfort them,
Hmm.
like the ability to make a piece of art from a loved one, and that is an uncomfortable, hard subject, but it's something that we all will experience.
Hmm. And we are a community here, so you could share your good times and bad times, and we're here for both. Now I'm actually using the water into my favor, and I'm getting the reflection of the light, and I'm following it around where the flat goes to start to round off. And what I'm doing is I'm just,
We can get it out of the light there so we can see it a little bit better.
yeah,
It's all
yeah,
washed out down there.
I was doing it for myself. Oh, actually, you can kind of see it really good here. You can see the ceiling lights there, and I'm that flat side. What I'm doing is I'm making sure that it is keeping the same distance as the outside edge all the way around. And so the flat here looks good. The angled on the edge here looks really good to the girdle. And then now the next thing I'm doing, I'm gonna get it wet again. And then I'm gonna take it and I'm gonna look at this edge, the rounded edge. I'm gonna look for any choppy spots. And then, okay, no, looks like maybe like right, maybe not coming across, but right here is a little choppy. There's kind of a hard edge right here that I want to get rid of. Okay, looking a little
Right
softer and
now,
smoother.
this is the standard setup of wheels. We got 80 grit, 220 grit plated, then the 280 resin. And now we're looking at 600, 1200, and 3000. I'll have to look, Ariana. Can we show the side view of that cab? Like the girdle?
Yeah. Let me see, get it drier here. Looks like it's actually a little bit of a dip right here. It might just because of this white is slightly softer than the purple, but I kind of undercut it a little bit. I just noticed. But I'm not gonna, if this was gonna be for like a piece of my jewelry and everything, I would go back maybe to the 220 centered and just work it, being more cautious that this little white spot might be a little softer, and then try to get rid of that. Then like another thing I do too, besides like working on polishing the back, as I also have been keeping this back edge softly rounded. And that's just for when setting. You don't want it to hit too hard corners and you have this sharp edge, and that's a place for it to want to chip or crack.
An 11-degree bevel is not important, and unless you're doing a piece of jewelry that it's important for, like a setting.
Hmm.
But as far as that goes, I almost never cut an 11-degree bevel.
Yeah. I usually kind of, like I said, I was planning on this one being silversmith, so it's kind of steeper. Just because I'm probably gonna use like guessing a 3 or 4 millimeter wide like piece of bezel setting for it, just so it just comes up over the flat side or the girdle. It just kind of grabs the stone.
No, we never use like a rest or anything. That's funny, Terry. No, this one Cody leaves a kind of a flat top on it. It's got a very mild dome to the center, and then it tapers off on the edges.
Yeah, you see how flat it is there.
That's funny, Terry. Terry has probably heard my dad or I at some point tell somebody, "Here's my business card, right? And, put it with your rocks if you don't have anybody that cares about them or your equipment, and write call upon death on it, and we'll help them take care of it."
I love that.
The cab
Did
wheels, like if you're looking at a resin wheel like this, once you wear through and you start to see the a little bit, John. You once it wears through, you can start to see the all the way through the resin. Usually, you start to see black pull going through the backside there. Um, then it's completely worn out. Some people will just replace them as soon as they start cutting a little bit slower. The diamond plated wheels, once they start losing their ability to really grind, that's when I replace them. So that's more by feel. Yes, Michael. That's funny, Terry. I feel really good today, Jeffrey.
and I just dried off the stone and looking at it again dry, but my shirt is too wet from all the previous times from driving it off, so I got to use actual paper towel. Oh, yeah, missed a little spot in the center. All right. Yeah, it happens. I think I can go back to the 220 pretty quick and get it. Right. Okay. It's always right in the center.
That's funny, Keith.
Oh, it's a dendritic opal. Oh, thank you, Kimmy. Hey, Kimmy, can I ask you a question?
Yes.
Do you have a favorite kind of jewelry, like pendants, rings, earrings, bracelet? No wrong answers. Just wondering.
Yeah, I really like earrings and
Earring.
rings.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Do you like
Why?
dangly earrings or like little stud earrings?
Any.
Okay, I love it. Thank you so much, Kimmy. Thank you.
Okay.
No, and Kimmy, all I can picture is with a nice big set of like gauges now.
Oh, that'd be hilarious. Oh my goodness.
Kimmy would be the one that at the video is just like, it's just that easy.
I love it. I love our team.
Would you have a good team? Oh, it's gonna be a poppin' piece.
Ooh.
I'm
Yeah.
I just cut a piece of the red rutilated quartz to make that
Oh.
opal triplet.
Ooh, fun. Opal triplet. That's the way to do it. Especially if you have like some really nice material and it's real thin and you're not like backing it. So it's like you could just like, no, it's just a quartz top on it,
What
or
is a
quartz
triplet,
bottom.
Cody?
A triplet would be the stone that you want to be magnified or seen through the quartz. And then you have a quartz cap on top of that's glued to the top of that stone. What did you think of that explanation?
Well, the only thing I'd add is so the distinction between a doublet and a triplet would be in this case being a triplet, it also has a backing layer. Um,
Oh, duh. Yes. Triplet means three, doesn't
yeah.
it?
So in this case, it's a thin sheet of opal with a layer on, a layer behind it, and then we'll put the related quartz over the top. If it was a doublet, it would just be the stone and then a quartz layer on top.
Okay. What are you putting on the back?
This one was already done. I didn't do it, but it's
Okay.
Basanite that's on the back of it.
Okay. Right, Keith? I think is it down to silver's down to $63 a ounce, I think, or around there. When
It's
I was like
crazy that
having, yeah,
I can't believe we're saying it's down to that.
right. That's hard to, yeah, that's a hard realization. Can we see the doublet that's in progress? Do you have that handy?
Oh yeah, I can show you guys.
Okay, so this is it dry, and you can see how it's hazy, but it's starting to get the shine to it, and there's doesn't have the scratches from the 80 or 220 on it. We're looking good. Ooh.
So you guys can see how just unexciting that is currently. It'll get so much better.
Oh yeah, super exciting.
One of the things I'll never forget my dad being like, I remember when I bought silver for $6 an ounce.
Yeah, huh? I feel like the first ounce of like fine silver I bought was $14, I feel like. Maybe even cheaper. I just don't want to date myself. Hey, I'm one of you. I'm not mocking anybody. Nothing but love. 325. Oh, yeah. Uh, boy, if I could go back to the first ounce of silver I bought, I think I took the 57 bus in Orange County down to a pawn shop I do that sold fine silver. I would have, I think I would have made that a weekly habit after every paycheck I got to go just get an ounce of silver. I would have done that and invested into Apple.
I know hindsight is so nice. I remember buying Bitcoin, just a little bit of it when it was $3,000 a Bitcoin. And
Yeah,
I wanted to buy a whole Bitcoin, but everybody was like, no, this is going away. And I didn't know much about stocks. I was like 18. And so I never bought it because I really didn't understand it. And now I'm like, it'd be real nice to have that Bitcoin.
right. Oh my goodness. I'm even worse. I was like, Bitcoin, that ain't not going to be anything. A cyber coin? That's ridiculous. Good luck with that. Even
Good luck
dumber.
with that.
Gold under 185. Ah, that's great. I feel like the first time I got gold, it was still around $400 or $500.
Well, that's why I like investing in rock so much, is
Mm-hmm.
because it has always been the best thing I've ever invested in. Consistently, it does not let me down.
Right? Yeah.
I learned a hard lesson when COVID hit and I lost a whole bunch of money because I was essentially gambling in the stock market. And I was listening to the what's the book? A Road Less Stupid.
Ooh, I don't know that
Um,
one.
I'm pretty sure that's the name of the book. And he was talks about the dreaded dumb tax. And you should, talking about investing in things that you know. Don't just invest because
Mm-hmm.
everybody else says it's good investment. Invest because you know it. And
Yeah.
that's when I really switched hard back to rocks because I was like, well, I don't know stocks, but I know rocks. And I have never been let down again. I've
You
definitely
also
had
know
painful
rhymes.
moments.
Stocks and rocks. I'm sorry.
That's so funny.
Oh man, I love that advice though. I mean, that's essentially what I did when I started my business. It's like I'm gonna invest into me. I know how hard I can work. I know the hours I can put in. I know that I could be dedicated. So I'm gonna take this money, I'm gonna invest it into my jewelry business and starting that, invest it into myself.
I love that.
Rolling mills are great, Keith. Yeah, it's definitely once you get into silversmithing and moving silver around, it's a quintessential shop tool.
Wow, that's crazy, Anne. I love that, Kyle. Hey, Jeffrey. Um, I really haven't used Basenite as a backing that much. Often I would just find some hard material that was close.
Hmm.
Or occasionally we'll get a piece of basanite in a collection.
I remember when I was working for that lapidary place, slicing up a bunch of lapis for like backers for turquoise and completely missing the point of a backer. Like you want to put like a face stone on the back of it, like, ah, I don't get it, sir.
My favorite is actually JB Weld.
I
Just
love JB
take
Weld.
a
Oh my, yeah.
put a blob down and stick your stone in it.
I don't know how many weeks I've spent like a day or two slicing turquoise, then a day or two just like mixing and laying that turquoise on wax paper on globs of JB Weld, and then a day or two after
Yeah.
that just cutting and shaping all of them.
Yep. I also love turquoise. It's one of my favorite things to cut.
Do you have a favorite? I have a favorite just by the fact that I've cut and worked modestly 40 pounds of it into like little ring cabs and like if not more is
Um,
Kingman.
I do love Kingman. One of my favorites, and it's mostly from the uniqueness, is I have a good supply of Bingham Copper Mine turquoise. So the great
Ooh.
big mine in the Salt Lake Valley. It's one of the
Hmm.
largest open pit mines in the world, and I got a bunch of turquoise from that. And it's incredibly hard turquoise to get because most of it was just crushed, and it's the
Okay, yeah.
only known location for turquoise in Utah, or at least the only location I've ever heard of or seen turquoise. I've heard lots of people say they found turquoise, but I've never actually seen turquoise that they found in Utah. Um, um, the Golden Hills turquoise is one of my favorites because I love the change in the blue you get with it.
Hmm.
But any of it that's got good color, I really like the Hubei stuff.
That Hubei was so good. What's really got popular in like turquoise jewelry is a vein of turquoise in preferably a black matrix. But I've also I would that Kingman would come in like in that brown like ironstone matrix. And anytime I could like cut it into like a turquoise vein shape, that piece would always do so good.
Uh-huh.
I was actually sharing with a customer. I had a customer come to me. They had this beautiful cuff bracelet that was a gift from their mother, and they wanted to have a pendant to reproduce it. And the turquoise in it had like a light tan brown matrix, and then the blue was just like a kind of a normal turquoise blue. And I spent 8 months like going everywhere I could trying to source a piece that was close to this. And I got kind of close, but then the matrix was kind of off, and they weren't like, nah, like let's keep looking. Like, okay. And then it was for my sister. That's what I did. I was like, okay, I'll keep looking. And then I got the intarsia machine, and then I told her about the intarsia machine, and I found just some kind of blah stone that was but it was the exact brown of her piece of turquoise in her cuff bracelet. And then I found a piece of turquoise that was the exact blue from the stone in her cuff bracelet. And I made an intarsia piece with like an intarsia little piece of turquoise down one on the 1/3 side with like the brown matrix on either side, and made a replica of her bracelet. So she had a set. Okay, let's check this out. Kill that.
Anyway, wipe that off. I'm gonna sneak in here and show this. So this is
Ooh.
one of my favorite kinds of turquoise. That's Golden Hills, and that is JB Weld backing it.
Okay. Didn't that come out nice? I love that like purple in that. Really translucent. Can we see the turquoise again if possible, Zeke?
Oh yeah, let me come back.
And there's the back of it. You see, I got a nice shine on the back too. I want to get that kind of mirrored effect through the front. And I was able to keep that little dent right at the top. There we go.
Yeah, I've made a lot of cabs and spheres out of the bubble opal. Most of it needs to be stabilized to do like a sphere, but you can get hard enough pieces to just do a cab.
All right. What do we think? I'm gonna go kill this water, but some tote. Do we have anything cool in the saw? Well, I saw you working on your triplet.
Yeah. Yeah, I was just doing the pencil test, same kind of thing as the Intarsia. That piece was Golden Hills turquoise I was just showing, where I'm putting the pencil on there. You can also work one of those fire opals.
Oh yeah. Let me see here.
Maybe a little bit denser on there, but you can see the pencil. So now I'll take this back over. I'm using the 24-inch flat lap. You just take it across there and um, get that, make sure it's perfectly flat. Yeah, you can definitely, a lot of the clear bubble layers are hard enough that they don't need to be stabilized. It's usually the colorful layers that need to be stabilized. Oh, I wish, Sean. That's one of my favorite Utah materials.
Was that the bubblegum opal?
The flowering tube onyx.
Oh, okay.
Oh, that's got a really nice polish on it.
Came out nice, right? Yeah, I was stoked on it.
That looks really good.
Thank you. That's quite the compliment. Thank you.
Yes, I do, Anne. Especially for like assistant type work.
Yeah, I've done it even for just kind of like bouncing ideas, like for shows, what to make, areas like put in there. Like I'm thinking about doing our art show in Vista, San Diego, California. Last year was this population. I make this kind of jewelry using this kind of techniques. Da 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 da. Should I involve like a lot of times you invest in some of these art shows and they're like really expensive. And it's like if you don't are able to get your investment fee into it, it just becomes a lost weekend. But I've
Uh,
definitely used AI for that.
The the JB Weld, usually I just get the high pressure JB Weld, the 5,000 PSI stuff.
Okay. So we had a couple, oop, let me turn on the water. We had a couple jars of the the Mexican opal and I found a piece that kind of describes like how I know it a good example of like Australian black opal is see if I get the flash on here. Okay, so you can see the purple flashing up and through here and that color like that rainbow right through here and that color band when the silica was deposited into this cavity, that's where like the little silica orbs laid and that's where you get the most flash. Like this whole chunk is opal. This is all opal in the center, but you only get that rainbow flash. And there you go. You can get a good picture of it right there on this skin. And it's that thin. So I'm going to attempt to see if I can get some flash on this skin without going through it and hitting just this plain opal that doesn't have the flash. Actually, one of the ways I was described it, I just kind of popped in my head when I was younger. When you have an opal vein, it's like having a sandwich with a piece of cheese in the center. And between one of the pieces of bread and the cheese, you have mayonnaise. That layer of mayonnaise is the flash, and then the cheese is the opal, and then the bread is like the poach or like the matrix or like the waste stone, the outside stone. But that was like for Australia, like black opals. That's how I was taught to kind of keep thought of like the how the flash, how thin the flash is. It's basically like a spread of mayonnaise, and the cheese is the actual opal. But you want to find what side has that layer of mayonnaise, and you want to cut it from that side.
I love this analogy, but it won't work with Jordan because her layer of mayonnaise is too thick.
Uh. And that's I love mayonnaise. I love mayonnaise, but I like the right amount of mayonnaise.
That's so funny.
My personal opinion for right amount. Okay, so I'm keeping in mind that I just have maybe it's a little over a millimeter thick, the color band, and it's really like gritty and rough. So I maybe like have to take down like a half a millimeter. And I'm not going to try to get all of the piece colored. There's going to be some pieces that are lower that won't be shiny, but I just want to see if I can bring out some color in this little piece.
I love that you're picking such a technical piece to do on camera.
Right? I mean, here was kind of my thought is, success or failure, I'm going to go full force. Something will be learned, and maybe like a little bit of nerve will be taken away from somebody else to dive into their first one. You know what I mean?
I love it.
Okay, and then I should be more verbal what I'm doing here. I am just focusing on this triangle of the stone right there. You can already see some of the flash kind of coming through. Just focusing on that, and I'm just doing a light pass in one direction, checking it, a light pass in the other direction, checking it on the 220. Ooh, that's looking good. Okay. Then, so let's see if I can show it on camera. I'm getting Well, I'm starting to see the flash through here on this flat side, and I could see that I got more flash in this little crevice right here. There we go. You can see where I've been grinding on it, and it's flat right here. Then there's this crevice right here. So I can't use the hard center wheel to get in that crevice. It'll make too much of a sharp angle. So I'm going to move over to the soft resin wheel here,
Just so that people don't get confused, Cody.
please.
That is a plated wheel. Um, the
Ah,
centered
thank
wheels
you.
are the ones on the 8-inch machine.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you for that clarification. Okay, so get the water from a little bit there. Okay. Now, to get into this little crevice, I'm going to actually use the edge of the wheel here. I'm not going to be using the face, and I'm going to start at the highest point of the crevice and just one quick pass. And then I'm going to move it up a little bit. One quick pass. Move it up a little bit. One quick pass. Okay. Like I said, there's still some pokings in there and stuff, but I'm going to go ahead and move. I want to start kind of more polishing while I'm taking away material. So I want to move to a wheel that's going to be a little less aggressive, take off less material.
I love that, Brandon.
Oh, okay. So while like usually like the opal layer is like created in a vein in the Australian opal. With Mexican opal, they'll be created like in pockets or bubbles, and you'll get kind of the opal instead of on one side, you'll get it wrapping around. And as like working the stone, oh, see if I can get it to show up on there. I'm seeing a little bit of blue purple on this side. So I'm actually going to go back to the 220 real quick. I'm going to see if I can kind of polish both sides. And it's kind of in a crevice too, so I'm going to be using the edge of the wheel. Wow, this thing is like literally covered with like flash all the way around it.
Yeah, I like the piece you picked.
This is a fun one. I remember when you first got those jars, I think I got six of them, and opened one jar and I cut three usable cabs out of it that are still sitting in California.
That's awesome. Isn't it kind of fun going from like you used to be on watching and buying stuff, and now you're like seeing the other side of things?
Dude, it is like the best of mine trips. It's so great. You know what I mean? It's like everything's better. It's just like I'm super excited and it's everything's better than anticipated and it's everything I thought it would be. You know what I mean? So it's like, yeah.
I love it.
And I tell you what, doing my show on last Tuesday, I got so jazzed about teaching and sharing like jewelry knowledge. I'm so excited for that.
It really is the best part about getting to do this. I say all the time that rocks are only fun because we get to share them. If you don't get to share that experience and the excitement people have, then it's just not that enjoyable.
I love that. See if I can get it out of there.
Once
Maybe
an
not.
opal dries out, the color is gone, at least usually, because it's the water inside the opal that gives it the color.
I don't know if that flash is kind of coming through on the camera. I think my hands are too wet to zoom in.
You don't know where all the Intarsia stuff went, do you?
Intarsia stuff is and
I'm looking for the 5 minute epoxy.
ooh, um, maybe checking the flammable case, maybe because I feel like when I put
Mm.
or it maybe be in the totes beneath the Intarsia machine.
That's the one downside to having a shared shop is that stuff actually gets put away.
Ah, I hate it when people put stuff away. It's like I have a planned chaos here.
Yeah, it really is.
It's like, how can you find anything? Well, what are you looking for? Like, well, where's your hammer? It's like, well, it's under that pile of towels next to the old drill, the box full of old drills that I need to sharpen. I know where everything's at.
That's funny.
I may have missed it, but was there any other opal cutters in the chat or watching tonight? If so, if I'm missing any kind of details about opal or tricks you've learned in your experience and years of cutting opal, please share. And speaking of community and sharing, Is everybody in here and a member of our Facebook group? I don't know if the team, if you have that handy, if you could share that, that'd be super cool. Oop, went a little too deep. I literally just saw the blue disappear. Well, that happens.
Ah, ah, this is the worst.
Like that last pass, like, oh, should have just held off.
That's so funny.
Oh. But that original face is getting some nice reds and oranges and yellows and stuff.
You guys are hilarious. Thank you, Jeffrey. I do feel so much better. I'm down. I was yesterday or the day before. I can't remember the last time I weighed myself. I was 200.8 pounds. So the next time
Nice.
I get on the scale, I want to be under 200.
Nice, dude. Congratulations. I know how much work that is.
Yeah, I feel so much better. That's funny, Terry. Opals are addictive.
That was like I think I could totally understand like uh the agate people and like why they're like some are like, oh, I don't even want to know what's inside. I want to find it myself because being able to go through like barrels of like graded opal for ones that I could cut and like I would get way more excited and like cutting open a new opal and being surprised at how beautiful I can make it. You know what I mean? So I totally get like the agate love. Ooh, congratulations, Jeffrey. That's killer.
Hmm. I definitely think for the dry polish, I like the idea of getting a tablecloth. If you turn that down, you'll have a much easier time, the speed.
Dude, thank you.
Something you're not used to yet.
I'm not. I love this. I mean, yeah, it's such a useful thing that I have literally had a month using and I love it so much. It's just, yeah, I'm so glad you pointed that out. I'm so not used to having that.
It's such a nice feature, especially if you're doing something like
Oh,
this.
uh-huh.
That is very impressive, Jeffrey. For the RL, one of the best suggestions I think I've seen is for doing the dry polish, getting a clear little round tablecloth and putting it over the top so you don't get the dust. That is awesome. Congratulations, Mike. It's awesome, Terry. Oh, see, I'm not, I didn't change my diet that much. I definitely changed some, so I'm eating cleaner food. But like, that's one of the reasons I like to go on a run so much is because we'll go run a couple miles and it was like, oh, there you go. Now you got 500 extra calories for today.
Oh man, when I got like really mathematical about my weight loss, calorie intake, calorie burn and everything, I would do weird stuff to where like, no, I'm doing this for like so the next 2 days I could just eat Ben and Jerry's ice cream.
Or like if I going out to a nice dinner, you better believe the day before I'm gonna cash in some calories.
Right? Uh-huh. Okay. Get a place where I can the reveal. The color in there.
Oh, I want to see.
Let me get the color to come out.
Oh, that's nice.
Right? Yeah. Oop, there we go. Let's see if I can show you the blue that was chasing. I didn't bother trying to polish it too much, I lost it. Oh, yeah, that was the another
Yeah, I'm
thing
not
too.
looking forward to that day, Martin.
Oh, there we go. Okay. Another thing too, FYI, if you're going to be making opal jewelry, I'm sure Zeke has a way. I found it virtually impossible to take dang old pictures of it that look good, that you reveal the flash to it.
It is quite a challenge to do a nice opal picture.
Right? Yeah. Awesome. I love opals.
All right, take us
Okay.
away.
Okay. I found this little end giblet here, and I'm debating if I want to make a cab or just kind of a fun high dome kind of a display piece with this.
Make a cab for us.
Cab? Okay. I like it.
And I'll be right back, Cody.
You got it. And it's glass, so I'm definitely letting the blade do all the work. I'm not going to want to push it. I'm trying to, essentially keeping the chipping down to a medium or minimal. And I think I saw a comment go by why I don't polish the end of it, then cut it off, I
Yeah,
believe.
yeah, it's from James why not to work the top off and then cut it after you have it domed.
Okay, yeah, perfect. This is the reason I'm gonna do it is like it's glass, so it's a little bit translucent. And second, because it's so I'm gonna polish the back. And also another thing when I'm shaping it, if I was to just polish the one end and finish it and then the cut off that polished end, first off, I'm using a trim saw, so I don't have the vise and the guide. So I'll show you after I make this cut, but like unless I'm just getting extremely lucky, this little slice that I'm cutting on the trim saw is probably not going to be exactly square. So I would need to grind the back down to level it out. And then also, if I do cut it pretty square, I'm chipping the glass as I cut it. I'll show you the edge of it. So after I cut it, I have to still go back to the cab machine and run it across the cab machine to polish the back and to polish the edge. So I'm just choosing to do the front and back at the same time. So that's why. But actually, I cut that pretty dang level. So, but that's why I'm gonna cut off the slab that I need now because I want to work both these edges and both front and back at the same time. Otherwise, if I just domed the one side and then came back to the saw and cut it, I'd still have to work the back side. I hope that explained it. No, me, same here. He was a good man, my pops. Yep. So I'm gonna start off on the 220 and not the 80, just because finding working with this Milli Floria myself, the 80 chips it. So I'm just gonna start off with the 220. And then I'm gonna speed it up a little bit because this thing has that option, and I love that. Okay, so and it's already a shape, the shape that I want. So I'm not going to worry about running it squared off to the wheel to get the shape. I'm just going to keep it the shape that it is. And if you can see, right, that little lip right there, I have that from the trim saw. And I got a little like from the trim saw on this side, like a little, where is it? Right there, a little divot. So I'm going to get rid of those first. And I'm also kind of seeing that the 220, if it's too deep or it's too taking too long, I might run it over to the 80 for a second. But the 220 is making pretty quick work of it. Okay. I'm gonna take it over the 80 just for a second for the front and back side, just to kind of get rid of those saw marks, knowing that I'm probably going to be chipping the edges, but I'll just have to address that when it's time. And what I'm trying to do to be that I cut the slice pretty evenly, so I'm not having to like, it's not like heavy on the right side where it expands up. So I'm not having to like level that out by taking the right down. What I'm doing is I'm just taking it square to the wheel and I'm putting my thumb behind it and I'm using my right hand and I'm turning the piece of glass in a clockwise motion while keeping, I'm not worrying about keeping pressure of the stone against the wheel with my right hand at all. That's all done with my left thumb. I'm just holding it there and then I'm turning it at a constant rate to keep the grind marks even and the same. Okay, looking good. And I'm also noticing it's not chipping out terrible. So on the top face, and I'm picking this one as the top this time because it's exactly identical both sides. But I'm picking this as the top because you see right here, there's like a little chip when I was cutting it, and there's not one of those on this other side. So I'm going to leave the back a little flatter, and I'm going to dome the top more. So I'm going to actually kind of use this chip as like my starting point right there. So there's the chip. Come up to my 80 wheel, find that chip spot, and start there, the angle that that chip was at. Work all the way around back to the starting point. Okay. Oh, you can see there that bevel that I put on it. That's all I'm going to do with the 80 grit because I can already see it chipped a little bit on the face. So, but nothing drastic. Oh, move back to 220.
We did discover, Jeffrey, that you can actually, it's not the same system like you're looking at here because this is the CB6, not the CB8, but you can actually put a long piece of felt over the CB8 too, instead of the individual strips. I don't think the actual bracket changed. I think John just did a single strip. I'm not certain on that though. If it was me though, I would just get a long piece of felt and see if you could make one that fit, because I think you can, across that whole strip for the CB8. Eventually, the CB8 will have a redesign or a revision, and John will probably make it like this. Yes, it mounts on the inside for the CB8. It's a really easy thing to change, though. You're just talking about some little screws that hold it in place.
And
That's
I would,
something that I feel like I've never put any thought into. But it'd be helpful for you guys if we showed like changing out the felt for the CB8. The CB6 is super easy. I know I shot a video on that, but we could do one for the CB8 too. Maybe putting a single piece of felt on there. I don't know if John changed them so the new ones are different because I've definitely seen CB8s with a single strip on there. Um, or not, but it's one of those things that it's one of those moments where you forget that not everybody has learned that, and you're just like, oh, it's just this part right here. Oh,
have you
yeah, we can do something
ha-
like that.
have you worked much with the glass seek?
Yeah, I've done glass. I used to love slag glass as a kid, so I'd make lots of cabs with the slag glass.
Would you say working with it, it's brittle and so it's like it chips good like a hard material like an agate would, but it's softer on the wheel. Like it seems like it grinds fast on the wheel compared to
As
like an
yeah,
agate.
it's probably more like a 6
Okay.
on hardness. It's very much like doing obsidian. I treat it exactly the same way as I treat obsidian.
Mhm.
Yes, Leslie, that's correct. It is interesting to watch the difference between. Oh, there you go. Look at that. Michael even has the part number. It is very interesting to watch the vast difference in the way that Cody and I cab.
Oh yeah, yeah. And that's like honestly like one of the fun parts of like this hobby. It's it's an expression of you. You know what I mean? There's definitely fundamentals that you need to learn and be taught and follow and practice. But at a certain point, you just kind of adopt your own kind of style, what feels best, what looks best to your eye. There's no wrong in lapidary.
Unless you're not having fun.
Thank you. Yeah, this is my job. It's insane.
It's funny. Even on a bad day, a really bad day, I'm like, I'm still playing with rocks and having a lot of fun hanging out with people.
Right? We need to come up with those bumper stickers like a bad day cut and raw or a bad day, or a good day at work. So, what is it with the fishing? Like a good day, a bad day
A
rock
bad day.
hounding is better than, yeah, you know.
Yeah. Bad day playing with rocks beats a good day doing anything else.
Bingo. Me no good with word.
I'm awake. I'm wide awake at the moment. I was just interested watching what Cody's doing too. He's getting lost in it because it's so different from like how I do it that it's like, oh, this is interesting. And there's nothing wrong with what Cody's doing. It's just different. So I'm like, oh, interesting. It is nice to like get to where you can have a there's no wrong way to do it mindset. Because like growing up for me, there was definitely a wrong way to do it my entire childhood. And so it's a
Mhm.
lot of fun to like see other people's styles and how they do stuff and what other people like. Because not everybody likes the same thing.
All right.
Oh, we want to peek.
Oh, the phone dying maybe? The screen just got turned dark.
Oh yeah, it's
Sorry.
probably down to like 15%. Well, like even the results, like it's interesting, when you're learning to cab, so much emphasis is put on the dome, and you can see with Cody, there's like almost no dome in the middle of his cabs.
You can see the like the flat reflection going across it. I think a lot of that honestly come from like turquoise cutting and all them thinking about it and what you just said, cutting like my cutting turquoise and stuff because I'd always would, make a ton of like thin slices, back them all, and you'd only have, 3 or 4 centimeters of turquoise on the top that you were working with. So it's like you couldn't really hide dome it very much.
Yeah, I dome it, and you'd have a matrix ring around the turquoise.
Exactly. Uh-huh.
No, I think I definitely agree with that. Because I'll cab different materials differently. Different hardnesses I'll treat differently when I'm cabbing or pick different shapes.
Hmm.
I think that's one of the fun things about cutting so much variety too, is it will change your perspective on cutting. If all you ever do is cut hard stones and you try to do something like turquoise where you're cutting a paper thin seam, you will not be having the best time your first time if you try to do it aggressively like that.
Uh-huh.
Or if you're going from only doing turquoise and opals to doing, mookaite, you're gonna, gosh, this stuff is a pain to get the scratches out. That is crazy fast. The
Yours
team
has been
has been working
learning.
real hard.
Here's a good learning option for myself. I'm fighting getting this choppy marks out of this ring right here, Zeke, on the 220. I got the face and the edge where I wanting, but I'm having a hard time getting rid of this choppy edges. You think I should move on to the 600 or I'll be able to get rid of it on the two? I'm thinking
Um,
maybe try the six.
so if they're changing because of the way you do the dome, if they're changing when you're doing the 280, like if you
Mm-hmm.
grind it and it changes, I think you're okay to move on to the 600 because this is still
Okay.
soft enough that 600 will get rid of some of that.
Okay, that's kind of what I was vibing with too. I was kind of thinking like, and that's funny you said that because it's exactly what I had just noticed is like, well, all of those like choppy lines that I was getting rid of were going up and down. Now they're going left and right. All I did was make new choppy marks.
Exactly.
Thank you, Zeke.
Yeah, with Cody, he tends to do a really flat edge, then a really rolled edge, and then a flat top.
Hmm.
And that rolled edge is definitely where you'll get the most problems in getting a consistently good polish, but you will also be covering most of that up with silver. So
Oh yeah, there's definitely been times I was fighting with like that edge. I was like, well, I guess I'm just gonna make that bezel a little bit taller.
yeah, there's nothing wrong with what you're doing, but the way you do the edge is why you have a hard time getting a great polish on the edge.
Okay, what would be a better way to do it?
So this is where I would tell you to roll the stone, where you're kind of rocking it like a coin spinning. So you know when you spin a coin as it starts to get to the oh here, come over.
Okay.
When you spin a coin and it starts to get to the end of its rotation, it rocks along the edge of the coin until it falls flat.
Yes.
You're
Okay.
gonna do that same motion on the wheel.
Okay.
So what will really help you with the edge here is, and that's where you'll see me hold it with just the edges of my finger and roll it like that.
Okay. And I was kind of going more of a up and down choppy motion.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're doing a lot of this, and it's hard to get the consistency around that really thin edge.
Okay. Okay. I dig that. Thank you, Zeke.
Yeah, of course. That is the nice thing also to remember that it's going in jewelry, and sometimes it doesn't matter. Like
Right.
the edge like
Yeah.
that.
Anybody who's ever looked at my Instagram knows that I typically paint my four fingernails with nail polish, and I've already felt myself nick my nail.
It never even occurred to me to do that for Lapidary. I think that's a great idea.
Yeah, I would always paint my two thumbs and my two index fingers. And if I'm doing something small like this where I'm just holding the stone, I have a quick way of knowing like, oh, I ground a little too deep on my thumbnail. I need to be careful.
I love it. You guys are funny. Thanks,
Okay.
Jeffrey.
Oh yeah, I think the spinning quarter trick was the what it needed.
That's how it really I get to that explanation, and this is why I want to try this. But I got to that explanation because Jordan really, well, the first couple times I explained this, she had a really hard time understanding what I was trying to get her to do. And the spinning coin was what made it really click for Jordan.
I love that. Me too. Totally clicked. As you're walking over, I could like see the quarter spinning in my head. Like, okay.
That's one of the reasons I want to try it, where I think we should do a night where we should get like 5 or 6 of us, especially some people that have never done it before.
Hmm.
And I want to teach the first person, and then I want them to teach the next person, and so on, and see how much the process changes, and see how much the wording changes too, to see like where it ends up and how many people learn something from Because having fresh eyes on something is always interesting.
I love it. It's like a game of telephone, but with making cabs.
Does that sound interesting to you guys? I think that sounds like such a fun experiment. Heck, maybe we just try it with the three of us.
Yeah. I still think like taking the three of us and doing an intarsia piece where somebody does the centerpiece, somebody could reshape it, or like like they pick a centerpiece, the next person
Oh,
picks the shape of
yeah.
the centerpiece. Then no telephone died.
All right, guys. While the guys are fixing the tech on their back end, we are going to go for a quick game called What Am I? I know that you guys played it earlier, so here it is. What am I? 6 wheels in a row from rough to refined water and diamonds, one gem at a time. Still built to last, never rusting away. What am I that turns raw stone into display? So put your answers in the chat, guys. All right, awesome
Well,
guesses. Okay. 3, 2, 1. And the correct answer is a calving machine. Congratulations to everyone who got the correct answer.
well.
Congrats, guys. Back to you, Zeke and Cody.
I don't know if anybody hear me, but I love those games. Ah.
Oh, never mind.
I hear you. I hear you.
All right, here we go. Get the camera back.
Uh,
It was funny. The headsets are set up backwards to how Jordan and I set them up.
uh,
And I was like, this is kind of fun because usually it's me that's muted, and I'll talk the whole time. And then I was going through some of the things I said, and then I saw the team put up the riddle, and I was like, I'm the one that's muted. Nobody can hear me. I'm still talking to myself.
Question from Michael Crawford, Zeke. Where does the ruby in Fuchsite come from?
It's also from India.
okay, trying to implement that spinning technique, but I keep finding myself going back to what I'm natural with. But I really do like that, especially
The
kind of a little bit
uh
tough.
the pastel ratio is from Indonesia. Yes, Sean. That's normal. One thing that'll definitely help with that is don't sling the hood open when you first get it, or like when you first shut it off. I usually I'll turn it off, after I turn it off, I'll let it sit for a minute and then just gently lift the hood, which was learned from John because John would watch me sling the hood open and splash oil all over the place, and he'd be like, "Dude, were you raised in a barn?"
I think that new guy is guilty of that sometimes. Me, this new guy.
Right. I can't
It
wait
was,
till we get the hoods set up to suck the mist out of them.
oh, that'd be great. It was so awesome today for some reason. Like I just working all the songs today, and Josh came over and he just kind of like, "What you doing?" And I was like, working the songs, loading the stuff. You want to try cutting the rock? Yeah, can I?" Absolutely, man. Here's how you do it. It's like everybody has just loves doing it. Everybody's like loves working around rocks here. Even people that are like new to the rock. The new kid Josh has like no experience, no knowledge of rocks and stuff, but he was like, "Oh, I want to cut a rock today."
That's fun. Yeah, well, Sherman and I talked about setting up all the saws in the lab on a vent system where it took the mist and let it condense back into a bucket or something. And because that'd be something that I'd really like to do is set it up so it sucks all that mist out. So when you open the saw, you get none of that.
That'd be killer.
There's a shop in Italy that we'll have to see if we can find the picture of, but that's how they have all of their saws set up. They took and cut a port in the top of every hood and it has it set up on a vacuum system. So, and it is the cleanest shop um, I have ever seen. In fact, I don't
Oh,
know
I
that they'd
love
even allow me in the shop. I might just only
that.
get to observe through photography.
Like we heard about you, Zeke. Nuh-uh.
It looks like a medical lab. It is insanely clean.
Oh, I love that. All right, got my dry paper towel. Feeling pretty good about it. All right. See, I haven't taken it to the buffing wheel yet, but we got a good little shine coating on it.
Oh, that does look nice.
All right.
And then don't
Let's
forget to turn it
go.
down.
Thank you. I totally was going to forget.
It's just so nice when you turn it down how much
Ah,
less or how much less heat you get, and it's just it rolls smoother across there.
it's yeah, and it doesn't feel like it doesn't
You
like
got too much
anybody like
water on your cerium.
oh, thank you.
So when you use the cerium, you only want it wet enough that you're not creating dust. It should feel like it's trying to pull the stone out of your hand.
Okay, thank you.
So when you start to feel that pull, that's when you're getting the best polish.
Okay,
If it starts to feel like it's too much pull that you can't hold onto the stone, add a little bit more water, but not a ton.
okay.
That was I didn't know that my entire life. I never really liked the cerium and leather that much until John told me that, and I was like, that makes a world of difference. And on the because you're doing glass, you also let it get a little hot on that
hmm
wheel, and that'll really help.
Was that Ed last night that shared the why he heating up obsidian when polishing it like it technically like smears the top of the surface of it or something like that? I was like so fascinated with that.
I know, I was like, that is pretty cool. I believe that was Ed that shared that.
You're right. Yeah. Yeah, when I'm not here at work, I'm still creeping on the lives.
That's so funny. This is felt. And it's because our water pressure is ridiculously high, so this thing's spraying water all over the back, and the seal is leaking. We have our water system hooked directly up to a um industrial water line, so it's a tad bit high.
Ooh, I like that.
The quick disconnect. Oh, that came out great.
I need to actually hold it so you can see through.
Look at the shine on there. Did you feel like letting it get a little bit warmer helped?
100%, 100%. I like instantly like saw the difference as I was polishing it. Like I had like one half that I wasn't pushing hard and it wasn't grabbing, and then did the other half like that. I was like, oh yeah, night and day.
I think this one is safe from getting snapped. It is pretty cool. I do love how translucent that one ring is.
Right? That's it. Yeah. If you can turn it just enough, you'll see like it goes down into the cab.
Right.
How fun is that? I love this. What a fun cab.
I'll say if you want to grab the camera, I'll grab some wrenches and
You
we'll show
got
how
it.
that gripper works.
Which side you want me to go to?
Stainless steel. Actually, go to the 16. Let's see if the large gripper fits in there.
All
I
right.
can't remember.
Will the large gripper fit that HC1214 and
It
HC?
will not.
And from Brad is she's still wondering if you can adjust the hood in the 12SS.
Yeah, there's a little bit of adjustment in the hood. I don't think there's a video. I think it's just I think you just loosen those two bolts on the back. We could probably shoot a video on it though. Let's see. All right, I grabbed a large rock gripper. I know on a lot of the saws, John puts 3/4 inch plywood. This is 1/2 inch plywood in this one. But if you go to the last slot, that'll fit. It definitely is on the big side. And these open up pretty big. You can hold a pretty big rock with this. So I mean, you could actually that will actually hold a bigger rock than what this will cut.
Good question from Steve. What saw are you using, Seek, right now?
This is the 16. All right, and then let's go over to the 14. So this is an HT14 in stainless steel that has the base plate where the gripper just bolts right into the base plate. One of the other things that I saw somebody do is they took their vise. This is the same vise as the Model 12, and they took this side and drilled the holes and tapped their own holes so that the gripper could mount in the vise like that, which I thought was an interesting idea. If you're mechanically inclined, that's definitely an option. But we also sell this base plate. This will only fit the HC10, 12 and 14. But we have this base plate where you can take the boards out and bolt it right to the base plate there, which makes it really quick to change it around. Let me grab a rounded
How does
agate.
it rotate?
Yeah, I'm gonna show you. Let me grab an agate and I'll stick it in there,
All right.
and I'll show you the adjustments that this has. And I prefer more rounded nodules for the gripper. I think that's what works best. But all right, there we go. We got a rock tightened in there, real nice. Yeah, small gripper will fit in the HT12. If you want it to rotate this way, you take a wrench and you loosen this bolt or this nut right here. So once we loosen that a little bit, you can see this whole head will rotate. And then whatever rotation, whatever spot you want to tighten it back down in, then you just tighten the nut back down. Which I think this is a really cool way if you're new and you're like, man, I don't want to cut through the window on an agate, where you could actually take it up to the blade. You could loosen that and rotate it all the way around and be like, you know what? I'm gonna cut through that window right there.
That's fantastic. That's a great point.
And so I think that's a cool feature of that.
Now these aren't BOGO, right?
No.
No.
All right. And then the other adjustment that you can make with it is the little mounting blocks that hold it in place. If you take and loosen those, you can pivot the head here. So maybe you need to cut at an angle to avoid the window on your agate or your odd funky piece. So you can take it and turn it. Now, the one thing that I will tell you is that if your jaws are here, if you pivot this, now this is sticking out further. So you have the
Mm.
potential of cutting the end of your jaw off there. They're replaceable, but you do run the risk of cutting through it. So pay attention to that. Look at the how far your jaw is sticking out when you line your piece up. But you can pivot that to get it in whatever orientation you want that. So you can rotate it or pivot it side to side. So there's actually quite a bit of adjustment in these.
So slick. I honestly didn't realize how adjustable it was as far as like the turning and then the pivoting.
Yeah, it's a pretty cool feature.
Is the
Yep.
large one the same? Okay.
So other than size, the only difference in the large is the handle. John put this big knurled handle on there, which I think is really cool.
You could definitely see their like race car influence on everything they make.
Yeah. Yeah, this was an upgrade that John did over the original design that I think I really like. Because the original design had a plastic wheel here. And I love this nice heavy wheel there.
When will you get the large one in?
Team, you want to check when we got more large rock grippers coming in?
And then were you saying that the 12SS the hood is adjustable?
Yes.
Could we kind of show that real quick? Would that be possible? Let me know if you want me to hold the camera or anything.
Oh, there's from back here. All right. So you got your bolts here, and actually I've never even noticed this before, but it looks like you also have this set screw right there to adjust it, top and bottom. I've never noticed that before. That's pretty slick.
That's cool.
Huh. I'll have to walk through that with John and then shoot a video on it for you guys because honestly, I've never looked at that.
How did they drill the 12SS to mount the gripper?
I would imagine they took the vise out and put it in a drill press,
Right. Okay.
but I was not there for that process. I just saw a picture of
Mhm.
it. That's how I would do it if I was going to modify this. Is there's two screws, one right there, and there's a matching one under here. You just got to close the vise all the way down to see it. If I was going to do this, I would take and I would mark really well where you're going to drill it with a little scribe where you tap it and put a hole where a little like dent where you're going to drill it. And then I would use some C clamps and clamp that to the table on a drill press. And then, of course, run your taps through to thread into it. But that's definitely a little bit beyond most people getting started. You're definitely a little bit more mechanically inclined.
Hmm.
Yeah, what I would do, Brad, is loosen those two set screws a little bit, then adjust the nuts. Loosen the nuts so you can adjust it where you need it, and then tighten the set screws back down where it was. Um, it holds it in position. But I'll get with John to make a video on that because it's pretty cool. I never realized how adjustable those were. Oh, so you guys
Super
got any
fun.
other questions? Yeah, if you do it, Stuart, I'd love to see the modification came with. I love the um, your way of sphere preforming with that, where you cut the block out. That was actually something that was like, we should add, a jig like that. Team, you want to get Steve down for a large rock gripper? Do you have a bigger saw, Steve, or do you only have the 12SS? I would get the small, then the large is not gonna fit. That's funny, Brad. On the small, to get it to fit, you'll just need to take these two boards out. And then it like just slides in there. But if the large one, the base of it is too big, it won't actually slide down between these two plates. On the small, you'd have to take these boards out to get it to fit.
I love how it just clamps into the vise too. It's like so utilitarian.
Yeah. I like it, Stuart. Yeah, I want John to do a sphere jig for the HT saws as well. I think that'd be pretty cool. Awesome. Any other questions you guys have? Anything else you guys want to see tonight?
Leaking
Oh,
at the
I missed
time.
it.
It's not going.
First question from John: will this small fit with the new horizontal vise?
The new horizontal vise won't fit in the Model 12, but yes, the small gripper should fit in the new HT 1214 vise.
And
Okay.
Dave, have you ever read this one? From Dave, my Everclean is leaking all the time. I closed off the ball valve slightly, going to pump it, leaks while turned off, not running. I have to keep a bucket under it all times. So he needs help for that one.
Is the pump leaking? Like, is it leaking from one of the seals, or is the Everclean leaking? I was just trying to figure that out. I was reading it. Awesome. Great polish on those. Then you got that
Yeah,
little piece of
nice.
opal. You did the other one you did.
Oh, yeah. It's so little. I think I got buried in paper towels here.
That is great to hear, Kyle. I love that. Awesome. Well, tomorrow night you'll have Jordan and Cody. Be fun with you guys. I think you're doing a whole bunch more totes. So if you guys have any requests, put them in, and then um, join Saturday. Got a surprise for you guys, and we're gonna be going over all the machines. So it'll be a good
Yes, I'm
night.
excited. Yeah. Yeah. Get ready for a lot of questions on Saturday. What's that, Zeke? What does that do? Let's show that next. Let's do this. Let's do that. Oh,
Oh yes, Michael. First thing in the morning, before work, going out, and then tomorrow night I have we're doing a run through Worcester, where they're gonna have they sectioned off a whole bunch of the streets that are gonna be dark, and all gonna be wearing glow stick stuff to do with the run.
that's
So it'll
fun.
be a blast.
That's fun.
Awesome. Thank y'all. Always a great time. Yes, exactly, Brad. Always a great time to hang out with y'all and have show rocks, answer questions, ask questions. I love it. We appreciate you guys, and I'll see you Saturday. You guys gonna see Cody and Jordan tomorrow night.
Yeah. Have a good
Thanks,
one, you
everybody.
guys.